Kirstie Alley said that Ted Danson being nominated 9 times for an Emmy was like going to the drive-in 9 times and not being able to get the zipper down? Or how about 10 minutes later when Richard Lewis and Jamie Lee Curtis came out and they were going to give their award, and Jamie Lee teased Richard about being too horny? Well, if you're shocked by that, or if you're concerned by what you see on primetime TV, perhaps it's the new CBS series Uncle Buck that'll be showing at 8 o'clock on another network, where a 6-year-old says you suck at the beginning of the show. That's a matter of record. The critics who've seen it said that they were a little bit taken aback by that, too. It is that atmosphere that causes concern on the part of a lot of people. Here's a real familiar face. Here's a Detroit homemaker who sat down one night a couple years ago and watched a program called Married with Children. Terry Ricolta founded a group after being so outraged by what she saw as the content of that show called Americans for Responsible Television. They have a nationwide campaign. They've got a lot of people writing a lot of letters to a lot of advertisers, and many people who are advocates of the First Amendment say that Terry Ricolta wants Americans to have her brand of television, and she is, for all intents and purposes, a censor. Others say she is a lone voice crying in the wilderness, and a very effective one at that. Closer to home, Vicki Riley kind of has gone through the same thing. There was not one program that tipped her over the edge. It was just kind of a cumulative thing that made her get so fed up. She founded a group in Delaware called Concerned Viewers for Quality TV. Their answer, last September, the sets went off. September 7th, to be exact. And that was their way of saying, we have had enough. This is junk. Jack Curry joins us. He's the managing editor of TV Guide, certainly the daily Bible of what goes on in the television industry, and we thank one and all for being with us this morning. There are those people, Terry, who say, well-intended as you were, including the cast members of Married with Children, you put them on the map. Not only did you put them on the map, you made Fox's whole Sunday night a smash. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. No, well, I don't necessarily believe Fox's ratings. I don't necessarily believe the Nielsen index ratings. You know, the advertisers and the networks are starting to question the Nielsen index ratings. But I don't think that's the fact. The fact is that just because something gets ratings does not mean it's appropriate for the general public. You know, these are the public airways. They belong to the public. Okay? The networks have a license to use these airways free of charge. The only thing they have to do is pledge that they will operate in the public's best interest. There's 50 million children under 16 in this country, and these children deserve protection above and beyond those of the marketplace. So I don't think that we should let the Nielsen index be a satisfactory substitute for the exercising critical judgment.
Okay, now Vicki, when you founded your group, how many television station managers did you meet with?
Network, or you're talking?
Local or network?
Local, the Channel 12 News are the only people I've come in contact with as far as...
But you have yet to talk to any management of any station?
No station management, no.
What about network management?
Not at all. That I'm not surprised by.
But have you asked for an appointment?
Not yet. We wanted to prove this turn-off TV day to be successful, and now we have our ammunition to work with to go to the networks and ask for an appointment to try and discuss the problem with them and let them see the responses we've been receiving.
What do you want off?
I want the networks' dependency on profanity, sex, and violence to decline immensely. We've got to clear the airways. They're getting saturated with profanity, nudity, sex, and violence. And we need some standards. This is what I'm all about, standards.
Jack, are they dreaming?
I think they're dreaming if they're going to try to ignore the ratings. I mean, basically, that's a vote as well. That's people speaking. That's, you know, a statistically satisfactory group of Americans saying this is what we want to watch. So those shows, those very shows that seem to be problematic, are getting great ratings. Somebody out there is liking them.
There's also the cable factor. Cable television in HBO, Prism, all the cable TV services would show movies uncut, would show things you must admit, Mrs. Ricolta, a lot racier than you see on commercial TV, are getting gigantic ratings. Clearly they're getting audience acceptance. What about those people who, the network broadcaster says, fine, Mrs. Ricolta, I'd love to do 4 hours of Cosby a night. The problem is, if HBO is doing this movie, and Cinemax is doing this movie, and people are watching, I sell toothpaste. And I have to get as many people watching my shows to buy the toothpaste as I can, or else I'm out of a job.
But the problem is that network is not private enterprise. Cable is. You know, you can control cable. You don't have to have a subscription to it. You can get it out of your house. But network television belongs to the public.
Because it's over the air.
That's right. That's their problem, not ours.
We'll take a break. We'll take your phone calls in just a second as AM Philadelphia continues. What do you think about all this? Is it censorship or is it legitimate just being fed up to the teeth and what to do about it as AM Philadelphia rolls on? Angry at television. Don't go away. Any given day, and her point is very, very well taken. I mean, everybody's having an affair with everybody else, and everybody's having an illegitimate baby, and so-and-so's got, you know, ad nauseum. What about that?
I feel that the fact that so many college children tune in to the soap operas every day, they work their classes around the schedule, is scary in itself. And also the fact is that TV is very influential. We've seen it over and over again in studies. Knowledge and behavior are the underlying influence of television. So, you know, we have to consider these things when we allow our children to view such subject matter. So I think that we have to put a stop to it. We're not trying to take shows away, but there has to be standards.
To the caller, thank you for your comment. Hi, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, I'd just like to say that I agree with these women totally. I'm a 30-year-old mother of 3. I have 2 boys and a girl. And you try and teach your children morals, but it's very hard when this is what they see on television. You try and teach, I try and teach my daughter that it's not right for you to just, like, you know, go out with anybody or let a boy, you know, stuff like that type of a thing. But when they see this on television, it's very hard. They think that this is a normal type thing.
Okay,
yeah, there's so much moral content on television. I'm surprised that the focus is on the adult oriented shows that sometimes are a little bit more provocative. I mean, every half-hour sitcom has Theo, you know, wanting to sleep with his girlfriend and deciding I'm not going to do that. I mean, it's such a conservative medium, and that the moral lessons in every one of those little sitcoms is so middle American. I mean, I'm really surprised.
But that's not the only problem, the sexual content or the exploitive sex. It's the new violence on television, the psychotic violence against women, the sexual violence against women, the random violence against women. We're talking about violence also. Children, if they don't have direct knowledge of the outside world, they get their knowledge from television. Television is a teacher. And when it's not in our best interest to have a whole generation of children desensitized to violence and sexual.
To the caller, we thank you very much. You used to work for USA Today,
right,
the nation's newspaper. You have Time Magazine, Newsweek Magazine, all of whom have critics that are much applauded. In Philadelphia, you have Jonathan Storm for the Inquirer, who's certainly a very fine critic, as is Lee Winfrey. Do any of those people have the networks here?
It has to be the concerted, no individual, but say, so many people, that Uncle Buck incident you wrote about, everybody came out, they have a critics tour every year, they're all there together.
Right.
They saw this thing, and they all kind of were like, wow, this is for an 8 o'clock show, pretty surprising. When there's a concerted voice expressed by the, you know, and the critics all say yes or no about what a given thing, then it works.
Okay.
I'm very offended by the women's attitude on the air. I feel that, I don't understand how they feel that their standards should be everybody's standards. I have 3 children also, and I feel that it's my responsibility to monitor what they view. And I don't understand how they feel that they have the right to set standards for everybody.
Okay.
I think we have the right to speak up.
Exactly.
That's what we're doing, and we're speaking for many, many people. You know, I don't think we would continue this if we didn't know we're speaking for a lot of people in this country. Every place I go, you know, I talk to the National Kiwanis, I talk to different groups. They say, we're behind you. We feel, you know, what I want to see is a lot different than what I want my children to see. We're not saying we're against pornography or we're against, you know, the things that are more on the cutting edge. We're saying that it should be selective material. It shouldn't be dumped into your living rooms. These are our living rooms. They belong to us. We should have the right not to have it there. And we're only talking about the public airways. If you want to see this material, you have the right to go to cable, to the movies, rent your videos. But who protects the children? Who's running point man for these 50 million children under 16?
Jack, you wish them luck?
Well, I do. I mean, I think it's America. You know, the rating system is a very passive thing. It really doesn't give a lot of information. Ladies like this going out there saying, we don't like this, will exert, it's a voice. I'm hoping there are other people out there like that lady that says, I like the soaps to be sexy. She should organize too. And get a I like sexy soaps organization going.
As a matter of fact, and next time we have all these people in AM Philadelphia, we'll bring her on, and we'll bring Terry back and Vicki back, and that should make for interest. You scare people, though. Why shouldn't we be scared of you?
We're scared of network.
They're afraid we're taking something away from them, and that's not what we're all about. We're just about voicing our opinion and organizing it so that the majority of the American viewing public can get their voice heard.
Okay.